At exactly 4:42 p.m., the entire town looked at the sky. Not some of them, all of them. Every person walking down Main Street stopped moving at the same moment. Cars rolled to a halt in the middle of intersections. Conversations ended mid-sentence. A waitress carrying drinks froze beside a table while coffee spilled over the edge of the tray unnoticed. Then, without panic or emotion, they all tilted their heads upward together. Silently. The event lasted 1 minute and 17 seconds. Later, people would argue about the exact number because nobody actually remembered looking up. They only remember the seconds before it happened, and the strange confusion afterward, like waking from a dream you can still feel but can't describe. Elias Mercer remembered more than most. That was the problem. He had been fixing a road sign outside a hardware store when the town went still around him. At first he thought there had been an explosion somewhere nearby. Everyone stopped so suddenly it felt unnatural. Then he saw them staring upward. Hundreds of people, perfectly still, eyes fixed on the sky. Elias looked up too, but unlike the others, he saw something. Not clearly, just movement. Something enormous behind the clouds. For one brief second, the sunlight dimmed strangely, as if something had passed in front of it. Then everyone lowered their heads simultaneously and continued with their day. Cars resumed moving. People kept talking. The waitress laughed awkwardly and apologized for the spilled coffee. Nobody screamed. Nobody asked questions. It was as if the interruption had never happened. Except Elias knew it had, because his nose was bleeding, and because deep down, beneath the confusion settling over him, he felt something else. A feeling he couldn't explain. Recognition. That night, the town tried to rationalize it. Gas leak. Solar phenomenon. Mass psychological episode. By morning, national news stations had already arrived. Interviews were conducted. Experts brought in. But the strangest part wasn't the event itself, it was how quickly people stopped caring about it. Within days, most residents struggled to remember details clearly. Some even denied it happened at all, despite video footage proving otherwise. Only Elias remained obsessed, because things in town were changing. Small things at first. People slept less. The local pharmacies sold out of sleeping pills within a week. Teachers noticed students staring absent-mindedly through classroom windows for long periods of time. Night shift workers reported seeing neighbors standing motionless outside their homes at 3 or 4 in the morning, looking up at the stars. Then, the disappearances started. The first was a teenage girl named Harper Bell. Her parents found her bedroom empty one morning, window wide open, despite freezing temperatures outside. Police assumed she had run away until they found the message written across her bedroom wall in black marker. It noticed us back. The same sentence appeared after every disappearance. Sometimes written on walls, sometimes carved into wood, once burned into a church floor. By the third disappearance, fear finally settled over the town properly. People locked doors earlier. Stores closed before dark. Parents stopped letting children outside at night. None of it helped, because the people who disappeared weren't being taken. They were leaving. Security footage proved it. Every missing person walked calmly out of their homes sometime after midnight, stopped beneath the open sky for several minutes, then walked out of frame with an expression of quiet understanding on their faces, like someone hearing music too distant for anyone else to notice. Elias spent every night watching the sky after that. He didn't want to, but he couldn't stop. Something about the stars looked wrong now. Not visibly wrong, just subtly unfamiliar. Constellations seemed slightly misplaced. The spaces between stars felt deeper than before, almost moving if he stared too long. Then came the dreams. At first they were harmless, endless black skies, vast shapes moving somewhere beyond sight. But over time, the dreams became more detailed. He began hearing sounds, low rhythmic vibrations, like something speaking underwater. Every morning he woke more exhausted than the night before. And every morning he noticed more people outside staring upward before sunrise. By the third week, the town no longer felt normal during daylight either. People spoke slower, smiled less. Conversations drifted into uncomfortable silences for no reason. Some residents developed nervous habits like tilting their heads upward unconsciously while talking. Others simply disappeared overnight. National media lost interest quickly after that. Official explanations blamed cult activity, environmental stress, internet hysteria. Gradually, the town faded from headlines. But Elias knew something else was happening. Because he had started remembering things. Not memories exactly. More like knowledge pressing against the inside of his mind. Impossible distances, cold emptiness, and a terrible certainty that whatever had looked down through the clouds at 4:42 p.m. hadn't done so accidentally. It had been searching. One night, unable to sleep again, Elias drove out to Miller's Point, a cliff overlooking the entire town. He didn't know why he went there. Part of him already understood before he arrived. The entire town was awake below him. Thousands of people standing silently in streets, backyards, rooftops, all facing upward. A cold wave of dread passed through him. Then slowly, every person below turned toward him simultaneously. Elias stumbled backward. His radio crackled violently inside the truck before a voice emerged through the static. Not human. Layered. Immense. "We see you." The town lights flickered all at once. Then the stars above began moving. Not drifting. Opening. The night sky split apart silently like skin peeling back, revealing something impossibly vast behind it. Elias couldn't process the shape fully because it was too large for his mind to understand. He only caught fragments. Endless eyes. Enormous structures moving like living planets. Shadows bending around themselves. And underneath it all, awareness. Ancient and overwhelming. Looking directly at him. Elias fell to his knees as blood streamed from his nose again. Suddenly, every strange thing made horrifying sense. The staring. The sleeplessness. The disappearances. People weren't being controlled. They were being contacted. Prepared. The voice returned through the radio. They opened first. Below him, the entire town smiled upward in perfect synchronization. Then, one by one, people began walking out of town toward the desert beyond the highway. Thousands of them. Silent. Calm. Leaving together. Elias wanted to run. Instead, he found himself looking upward again. Because now, he understood the truth hidden inside the message left behind every time someone disappeared. It noticed us back. Not, it noticed us. Us back. Humanity had been staring into space for centuries. Searching. Listening. Praying for something to answer. And finally, something had.